past. Bobby Humphrey, Chicago Dam. And you know what else? We got Wallace. She's coming up right now. She have a special in-house guest. Hey, Wallace, what's going on with you, darling?
Well, I'm super excited because we have a special guest here today, and it's downtown Tony Brown. And I want to see, can you hear him okay, Swan, in there?
We'll tell him to say hello now.
Say hello. Say hello.
Oh, hello.
Hey.
Hello.
Oh, you
hello.
Coming in loud and clear. That's awesome. So I have to tell everybody I met downtown Tony Brown at Jimmy Abeda's club. He runs the Zephyr Room, and I went and stopped by to see Tahira Harris, and I was like, oh dang, I lucked out. Look who I run into, and we made friends. So I'm super excited about this.
I was kind of excited too. I really was. Everybody in there just high, just high. I said, damn.
Well, I want to tell the listeners about some of your accolades here. You've been on BET, HBO Across the Country Tour, the world famous Comedy Store, the LA Underground. You've played in New York, Club Motivations, the Green Room, Uptown Comedy Corner. I mean, you've been all over the place.
Yeah, I just recently did, about a couple of months ago, I did the Broadway Comedy Club in New York. I also did the Punchline down in Atlanta. I did a thing with in Atlanta, the Punchline, where Anthony Brown was doing a filming for a show he was going to do. It was called Words, where they had like comedians, singers, and poets. That was a wild thing there in Atlanta. Because, Atlanta is wild anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Atlanta's the only place that I know has got the name of a street. They got 5 streets. The Peachtree Street, got 5 of them. I got lost real quick.
That's fun. I know it's like an avenue, a boulevard, everything. I know what you're saying. So, yeah, you've been in Atlanta, Texas, New York. Now, I know the Broadway Club. My friend Robert Shapiro plays there. Do you know Robert Shapiro?
Robert Shapiro. That name sounds familiar.
Yeah, he's
over the
he's
years,
a New York
I worked with so many of the guys, like George Waters and Dave Chappelle. And I worked with George Waters down in Birmingham, Alabama, believe it or not, at a club called, it's called the Stardome. It's one of the biggest comedy clubs in the Southeast. And in fact, I've done a lot of shows at the Stardome. At that time, I was down there taking care of my mother. And I just went on up there and just I hosted a few shows there. It was pretty cool. This place has got like 3 stages, going on at the same time in the building. I'm going, okay.
Wow.
And George was at one stage, and I was at another stage, and then, of course, we met at the bar.
Yeah, I love George Wallace. He is so funny.
Oh yeah. And what's his name? Aaron Spears. Aaron is, believe it or not, a lot of people don't understand this. A lot of comedians are very, very intelligent. Aaron Spears, he go on stage to be funny, come off stage, and he just go right into his business mode. I'm going, hey, man, take a picture.
Well, comedians are observers of everything, so they're very smart, and you have to, take a whole room full of people that are diverse and bring them all to the same page, and that's a gift.
Very true.
You're really funny. I have to tell you, DJ Smooth. Well, now we're Swan. We did a switch now. See, our show used to be Sunday Jazz Brunch, so we're really hyping up now. Our new name is Smooth Sounds by Swan because that's his last name, and he's smooth like a swan on the lake. Swan's from Detroit, so did he tell you that? Because to our listeners out there, they had a little talk before we came on air. So
okay,
yeah. So
we chatted a little bit, and talked about the old days where you had to hide your weed, and when they're like Colorado, I'm going Colorado is beautiful for me. I never played in a city where everybody was high all the time. I mean, it was like nobody was fighting, nobody was arguing, I didn't even hear nobody raise their voice. I'm going now, this is cool.
Oh, you know what's funny about it though? Like, I don't smoke pot, but when I go into those, because it's like Amsterdam here, where you can smoke pot, and they have pot places with comedy in there, and it's kind of funny because I'll go in there and come out high, like contact high, and now I've got to the place where I'm like, do I have allergies, or they're just like a billion bong hits going on at once, mixing in with this pollen, you know? Because I think I got a little bit of allergies and stoned at the same time.
Oh, you crazy, Wallace.
I know.
You're a wild girl.
I got to tell you about one thing I loved about Downtown Tony Brown was he had a heckler and he handled her. And Theo, we were laughing, and Tahara, because she walked up on stage, and I think she was kind of fancying him and trying to, get him to go home. She was sitting over there with her grandpa, but it was a date, right?
Right.
You're good with hecklers.
I decided, instead of destroying, I was gonna make her. But I told her, I said, I'm gonna make you the show. You're gonna be the show. And she just became a victim. Poor thing.
Yeah, you're good at improv. I mean, because some comics get mad, but you just have fun with them.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, as far as that is concerned, I think it's all the big joke anyway. We all come to the lab and pass it around. I mean, so I give her a little bit too. Sometimes you can defuse hecklers by actually giving them more than what they expect.
Right.
And giving something that they weren't looking. She wasn't looking for that.
Well, so now Tony, you've been doing stand-up comedy since the 70s. So you're really a veteran, I mean, can you tell us? Can you give us one of your best stories of something that happened that that our viewers and listeners would just, I know you got some stories. You've been with Sinbad. You've been everybody, Dave Chappelle, and or something that happened to you personally.
Yeah, Sinbad. I was with. In fact, Sinbad was in Birmingham one time. And this was right before he did the thing on TV. I think it was Star Search or something like that. And I never forget, what we did. So after we did our little show, we gonna hang out in town, and go to the different clubs. At that particular time, I was kind of very young, and then I was kind of hot, I mean, because I'm sexy anyway. What the hell? But anyway, so we get in the club, and me and a couple other comedians, we went around chasing women. Sinbad was at the bar with a napkin and writing jokes down. And we was going like, man, what are you doing there? I'm trying to get rich. I said, man, you crazy? Look at all this stuff we got in here. Girls coming up to us, offering us everything, but the child of God. And to my amazement, he was on sausage then. And I was doing, that's right. I was the radio announcer at the same time. So what we would do, back in the late 70s, early 80s, radio announcer was back then was like your everyday entertainer, your everyday superstar. So we really couldn't hang out in public. We hung out together. So what we would do comedy at the comedy club, and just hang out and just do those kind of things. And Sinbad was hanging out one time, and what we had to do is honor the artists that came to town. We was at that radio station. We had to chauffeur them around.
Right.
No, not really chauffeur. We was just, what they call the thing when you just be in a limousine, just showing them where to go and what to do.
Like a podcast.
I don't know. I think what they call chaperone. That's what it was.
Oh, okay.
Damn. So
it's cool. It's Sunday. You know what I mean? We're all on the same page.
Some of the places I go, like here in Texas, it just amazes me how some people, don't take the word no very seriously. I mean, here they do what they call that K2 stuff. Okay, they be to another zone. And I was going like, and they asked you for a cigarette. No. Can I get the short? I said, no, that's why I'm trying to smoke the damn thing to get to the short. Can I buy one? I said, no. And then the dude like, he said, why? I said, because I bought these for me.
Right.
Now go away before I strangle you. Then I caught myself. I said, I can't believe I'm finna jump on a homeless guy. I said, well, cigarettes that I'd have control whether to give it to you. Sometimes things kind of take you off guard there a little bit. That's one of my Kodak moments. And it'd be Kodak moments around that. I don't know. Most comedians that have been in the industry for a while, and I'm a true believer, comedians are not made, they're born. You know, I see funny things every day.
Right.
You know, matter of fact, I'm sitting at a bus stop right now, you know, trying to get somewhere to look. I mean, to talk. Guy sit next to me, got a brand new plunger in his hand. I am so tempted to say, "Hey, what you working on?"
That's funny.
Diarrhea.
Well, you know, I thought DJ Smooth would love meeting you also because, you know, you were on Alabama's radio station WEEN that's very popular, and so you know, that's cool because, you know, we all like to do the radio thing too.
Yeah, WENN radio FM was WENN FM radio. When you gonna make me around? It was at that particular time one of the very few FM radio stations in Southeast. I mean, as a matter of fact, there was one. It was the most prominent one, and it's kind of ironic how I ended up doing it. You know, I was like 17 years old, and I would go down to the radio station, you know, up to school and sit in the radio and sit in the I never forget, I would sit in the control room and try to learn everything because I wanted to be a DJ. Well, one time all the DJs wanted to raise. And remember the record came out, Take the Job and Shove It?
I do.
Okay, they had that on the 45. So what they would do, they would play Take the Job and Shove It, their whole ass show back to back, and then the producer would come in and fire them. When he got down to nobody was in there. Then he asked me, he said, can you run this board? I said, yeah. So I got on the radio, man. I'm telling you, I sounded like garbage, but you couldn't tell me that. I called all my friends, and I kind of liked it that back and forth. You know, I did comedy back in when I was in high school. They had like a talent show, and people singing and stuff like that. So I took an album from Richard Pryor, and I memorized the whole thing, you know. And I went on stage, and I was the only comedian at what they call it when you be had on the shows? Talent show.
Talent show.
And I actually won. And I said, well, hey, I kind of like making people laugh.
Oh,
I think I was about like 15, 16 years old then.
Wow.
And my mother was one of the funniest people in the world. You know, I've actually told some jokes she told me.
What's one of your mom's good jokes? What's one of her good jokes?
Oh, my mom, she used to kill me. I had one day, you know, I know my mom used to tell me, it's just so cold outside. She said, it's cold in a broke big dog out there. I said, what? That's cold, man, for a dog to have his thing broke like that.
We love them sayings, you know, like them sayings from the South, because DJ Smooth always is like, I'm finer than frog hair, you know?
Yeah, because, you know, I mean, but, like, you know, my mother used to tell me stuff like that when I was like 12 or 13 years old. And say, I remember when I was 8, and you know, she would make me, and I used to think, because, you know, back then your mother, you know, mama was God, you know. I mean, you were scared of her, you believed everything she said.
Right.
You know, like she was, I slapped the black off you. Oh my God, I don't know what I do if I'm not black no more. I'm a kid. I mean, she killed me with that one.
She told you she's going to beat the black off you.
She's going to slap the black off, and I actually thought that
you keep acting up, you're going to be Hispanic and then Caucasian. We'll just see how bad this ass whipping's going to get.
Oh yeah. And my mom used to throw shoes like a boomerang. I'm like, hey, my mom had to throw a shoe, hit me, and it popped back in her hand. I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. Now that was a boomerang. I said, my God.
Hey Tony, we got 1 minute, downtown Tony Brown, and we got to wrap this up. So, is there anywhere you want to tell the listening audience where you're going to be coming up?
Well, I'm going to be trying to work on something to get back to Colorado with when I get with Joe Wallace, but I think I got something coming up with this place in Texas called Corpus Christi.
Corpus
Christi.
Christi.
Going to be doing that. Yeah, that's going to be in May.
Okay.
And I got about like 3 or 4 shows here in Dallas, and I do a lot of work here. And I was going to go back to New York in March, April, May, I think June. Going back to New York, I'm going to be going to the Broadway Comedy Club. Going to be doing Gotham City, and I think there's another one called, it's down in the Village. I forget the name of it.
Well, let me tell the listeners, y'all know everything that I've got's on Comic Mafia, so I'm definitely going to be promoting Downtown Tony Brown, and he's getting ready to launch a Facebook page too, so you can find out everything that he's doing. It's going to be a fan page.
I got one more, and then there's one blog thing I'm doing a clean company, believe it or not. It's called the website is joybombcomedy.com. It's going